Let me start now.
Let's start with prayer and record, please.
Okay. Recording already, yes. Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
praise God. This is a very good opportunity for us to learn Hebrew. I started learning Hebrew about 1.5 years ago. And for some reasons, I had this passion to learn. And I think God has placed in our heart Sister Angie and Sister Anela also joined in. They were from some of the Hebrew classes or workshop that we had previously. And within, I think, about 2 to 3 weeks, they were able to learn and started reading Hebrew now. It's wonderful, it's great, and now Adela is also leading a group that is actually learning Hebrew more in depth, okay, with Dr. Bill Barrick. Is that right, Anela? Say hello to everyone, Anela.
Yes,
and
yes. Yeah. Dr. Bill Barrick, yes.
Yes, Adela is from India. Elena is from India, and Angie is from Malaysia. I think many of you know Angie as well. Huh? Okay, so let me begin by starting with the word shalom. Okay, all of us know the word shalom. Okay, the word shalom is usually translated as peace. Okay, but I think if we know Hebrew and we understand Hebrew, we'll be able to appreciate the word shalom even more. Okay, because you see, like for example, if you look at the lexicon is like a dictionary. Okay, it has got more in-depth meaning in it. It means shalom means it's a multi-dimensional complete well-being. Okay, in other words, it covers the physical, the psychological, the social, and the spiritual. Okay, and it flows from all of one's relationship. Okay, being put right with God. Okay, our position is now being put right with God. Whether we are whether we are backslidden or whatever, our position, okay, is unaffected. We are being put right with God, and this is the kind of shalom that God has, Jesus has promised us. He says, "Peace be with you, shalom be with you." Okay. So now the thing is, why do we want to learn Hebrew? I mean, my question to you is, why do you want to learn Hebrew? It's so that we'll be able to learn and read the Bible in its original languages. There are two languages that are involved: Hebrew for Old Testament and Greek, Koine Greek for the New Testament. All right. So we want to understand the original meaning. Some of you may know Mandarin, for example, or Hindi, and when you translate from one language to another, a lot of the nuances are lost. So you want to be able to go back to the original language and understand it and read it for yourself. Okay, so we also want to be better exegeted for the Bible, okay, so that we can explain the Bible better because we understand the meanings behind it and the nuances that come along with the text, and especially the poems and so on. So if you start putting your efforts, for the next 2 weeks, you'll be able to start reading Hebrew, like Anela and Angie. They have, proven track record. There are others as well who have actually started learning. It took me about 4 months to figure out what Hebrew is all about, but it took them about 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. So but one thing is I want to caution all of you, because when you start learning Hebrew, you will have a desire to know Hebrew. And this is where if you go to the internet, you'll see all sorts of things in there, and people start buying into all these kind of things. And this is one thing I want you to be cautious about. One is the mysticism or Jewish Kabbalah, where they will tell you, for example, you chant the name Yehovah, you breathe in, breathe out, and so on. So this is all what you call mysticism or Jewish Kabbalah. Do not buy into all these kind of things. So it's also not going to make us Jews. We are all Gentiles. We are non-Jews. So God accepts us as non-Jews. It doesn't necessarily have to make us into a Jew at all. We are not Jews, okay? Right? Practices that are based on Levitical priesthood on the Torah. And nowadays, you hear, this Armstrongism and Seventh-day Adventists being revived, with all sorts of Jewish festivals and so on. Now, the Bible says that we have a new high priest. The high priest is after the order of Melchizedek, no longer under the order of the Levitical priesthood, and we are now under the new covenant. So a lot of this can can go into another seminar. We can go into another seminar later, but it's not our intention to go into all this. Okay, but I just want to caution us to not go into all this thing unnecessary, and also be very careful, especially when people try to reinterpret the Bible based on their shallow understanding of the Hebrew Bible or Hebrew words. I have come across a teacher in KL, Kuala Lumpur, all right, who says that God is not the creator, and he just based it on Hebrew word bara. He says that God is not a creator. He just filled, the earth and the sky with animals and plants and so on. So this is basically introducing, what I call heresy, into the church. So be very careful of all this. So also the other thing is be very careful that there is also this hype about Jewish and Hebrew, because a lot of us we go to Israel and then people tell us, oh, buy the menorah, buy this, buy that, and so on. But tell me, where was the menorah, the original menorah placed? It was in the Jewish temple. Should it be in the home? So we have to be careful of all these things, because the Bible, actually, we must make sure that when we read the Hebrew Bible, we must understand what the Hebrew Bible tells, what God wants us to know. Okay, not what other people try to interpret, using their own idea, their own understanding, and so on. So be very careful not to be led into a dangerous path called Judaism. Okay, and I'm not wearing a kippah. I can wear a kippah, no problem at all. Just for the fun of it, but it's not making me a Jew by learning Hebrew. I'm not going to put a goatee. Maybe I will wear one next time. Okay, and certainly we do not call ourselves rabbi and so on. So be very careful of all this kind of. We do not want to be gullible, to all this. I was to some extent, also exposed to a lot of these things. Like for example, the gematria. Can you flash for that? You see, gematria in every alphabet of the Hebrew, every letter of the alphabet, there's a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, Aleph is 1, Beth is 2, Gimel is 3, okay, and so on. So these are actually created after the Bible was written. The Old Testament was written, okay, and the reason is because they just needed it to have something similar to the Roman numerals, okay, in order for them to be able to assign a number and so on. But it's never found in the Bible at all. Okay, it's never found in the Bible at all, because whenever the number is of say the year, for example, or the number of children of Israel, they don't use the word. They don't use the gematria at all. Okay, it's never found in the Bible. They use the actual Hebrew word. For one, for example, is used akkad, instead of aleph. Okay, so gematria is just introduced after. Sorry, just go back to the earlier one. It was just introduced after the Bible was written. Okay, it was after the Bible written. So a word caution here is, do not what do you call that? Let people deceive us by telling us, oh, these are the gematria and there's hidden meaning in it, and this is what God has told them, that Donald Trump is going to win the election because it's number 17. I've heard this being mentioned by a preacher in Australia because of the gematria that he worked out. He is the author of Divine Quotes. Okay, you can proceed. Yeah. So there's also another part of it, which is strangely, a lot of people still buy into this kind of thing. When you look at the letter Aleph, for example, they'll break it up into these components, just like when in Chinese characters, you break it up into components, you get some meanings behind it. Okay, but this one is incredible. Okay, the person just kind of break it up and say this is represent the crucifixion of Jesus. You see, he uses this one yod here. The yod here represents the hand. Okay, there are two hands. You see, like here they say two hands, and then this is the peg. The peg is a nail. So, in other words, he was actually saying that this is a picture of the crucifixion of Jesus. So my question is this: if you look at the letter A, if you look at the letter A, I can actually also see this is an I that has bent towards a C. So if C is Christ, then the ego is bent towards Christ in the letter A. But then it can get very ridiculous. You know, we can use this as an illustration, as a devotional thought. Okay, but we cannot use it as way to interpret the Bible. Okay, like for example, the word Satan. The word Satan, the word Satan has got two A there. You know, so how do you fit in this kind of description, you know, of the letter A? We can't say that there's a hidden meaning behind the letter A, you know, because the word Satan has got two A's, you know, and there's where are the two Christs here? There are two Christs here, you know. Maybe the T here is the cross, you know. So it can get very ridiculous. I mean, sometimes people can go out of hand when it comes to interpreting, you know, even letters like this, Hebrew letters like this, and this is all extra biblical. Okay, it's not in God's word. So please stay away from all this, because we know that when you start learning Hebrew, this is where people will come and influence you, because you know we are all gullible because we are new to Hebrew. So everything that they say we absorb, you know, and that is very dangerous. So use biblical. So sometimes they will use biblical Hebrew for the wrong reason. Like for example, I told you just now. Looking at this one here, they say, "Oh, it's the pack here," and then there's this two hands here. Yod is a 10, okay, and then the Waf is a 6. So 10 plus 6 plus 10 is 26. And then they say, "Oh, this is the value of the name Yahweh, Yehovah." Okay, so when you plus everything together, you get 26. You say, "Oh, the Aleph is telling us about God." You know, my goodness. You know, when I look at it, I say, "This is incredible." Okay, this is incredible. So we just want to caution all of us. Okay, not to join any of this kind of sessions. Okay, just make sure that you learn Hebrew for the sake of studying the Word of God, not to be extra, go into all this kind of thing, because you're not supposed to even touch the name Yehovah. If according to the Jews, why do you assign a number to the name? You know, I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay, recently I had a word also with the person who spoke on this, Pastor Chris Chu. Okay, he is still quite adamant, so we can't help it. But please be cautious. Be cautious not to join any of this kind of sessions, because there are others as well who does all this. Okay, like some people will say that there are different layers. Like onion that you peel. You can, from the Hebrew Bible, you have to peel one by one the layers in order to find the actual meaning. Okay, do not believe them. Okay, do not believe them. I have gone through all this. I've seen people following it. That's why when we teach Hebrew, we also want to make sure that you all don't go into all these things, right? Just as Jesus explained to the parables are difficult for people to understand, but he made it plain, all right, to his people, to his disciples. So he will also make his word plain to us as well. Now, I give you the example of the word Abraham to Abraham. Okay. Now, some people, okay, I call them weirdos, right, on the internet, right? They will say, "Oh, the hey here that's added in here is represent life." You can see that on the internet all over the places. They come on internet and they YouTube and so on. They will explain to you that hey here means life, and therefore God added the hey there, okay, to give life to Abraham. No, the letter K is never explained in the Bible as life. Okay, it's never and never explained as life. This is all biblical, extra biblical interpretation. So these are people who actually exploit our gullibility. Okay, so just caution to not believe them. Okay, because the Bible will only reveal to us. Okay, and God wants us to know He will reveal it to us. All right. So Genesis chapter 17, verse 5, for example, we read here, "No longer shall your name be called Abraham, but your name shall be Abraham. Okay, for I have made you the father of a multitude of nations." Now, this is what God has revealed to us. From Abraham to Abraham, okay, it is because God sees him as the father of a multitude of nations. This is what God reveals in the Bible. All right, and this is what we want to believe in. Okay, we do not want to believe in these people who say, "Oh, the hay is life, and therefore God gave Abraham's life by inserting the hey into his name. Okay, if you look at the word, here, okay, if you look at the Hebrew text, okay, Genesis chapter 17, verse 5, okay, you will see this mention as well. Okay, is Hamon. Okay, I think the font is yeah, I actually had it in a different font. Okay, Hamon means father. Is father. Hamon means a multitude of nations. Okay, a multitude of nations. Hamon means many people, a multitude. See, God reveals to us, okay, from Genesis 17:15, why this name is changed to Abraham. Okay, because you can see here okay, you can look here. Means father. Hamon means multitude. Okay, a multitude. Okay, so if you look at here, Abraham, you can see the first three letters are used. See, here, over here, and the Hamon. Okay, Hamon is added in to his name here. Okay, that is what Abraham really means. Okay, a father of many nations, a father of a multitude, okay, of nations. So in other words, Abraham is our father of faith. Okay, because he believed in God, he was counted to him as righteousness. For us, whether we are Jews or we are Gentiles, if we believe in Jesus, okay, we are his children. Okay, his children. And this is basically what the word Abraham actually means. Nothing to do with the hey. No, never in the Bible does it say hey means life. Okay, this we have to caution you as well. Okay, so I want to quote this that a sister from Singapore Bible College. Okay, I asked his permission to quote her, Dr. Koh Siang Kiang, Singapore Bible College. And what she said is very true. The less the Lord speaks about the subject, okay, the more is written or speculated about. And that's what we have to be very cautious about, especially because we want to learn Hebrew. Okay, we go all over the places to learn Hebrew, and we find the wrong sources, we get into trouble unnecessarily, and then we start bringing in all these false teachings into the church. Okay, now Christianity and Judaism are not compatible. Okay, because I have received this invitation as well to join a class on Judaism. Okay, and is basically if I don't understand um, Judaism, you know what it is about, and so on. Then I look at the Hebrew word. I say, well, okay, I want to learn Hebrew, you know, and so I must join this class, and that's where we get into trouble. So, and also we do not believe in divination. You know, there's this guy from India. It looks like he's looking at a crystal ball. Okay, it's a modern crystal ball. Okay, and he's telling all sorts of prophecies. Okay, sorry to say that. I mean, I don't buy into that kind of thing. And then there's another guy who comes up with a book called The Divine Code. That's why I said when we learn Hebrew, we have to be very cautious. Okay, we have to be very cautious. Make sure that our focus is actually in the Bible itself. We read the Bible in Hebrew, the Old Testament in Hebrew. Okay, we make sure that we understand the nuances that are there. Look up at the dictionaries, look up the lexicon, a few hundred years of scholarly work that people have put into, okay, is not wasted at all. We can go back into some of this work, and instead of going to all sorts of wrong teachings, you know, that people are introducing. So that is basically my introduction. I feel very passionate about learning Hebrew, and I think it's possible for all of us to learn Hebrew within 2 or 3 weeks if we put in some attention. Just learning the consonants, learning the vowels, you'll be able to read after this. Okay, so happy learning. Thank you. Over to you, Angie.
Hello. Okay, we will start this very basic biblical Hebrew workshop. The objective is to read Hebrew Bible in 2 to 3 weeks. You can make it if you follow the steps that we are given to you. The learning outcomes are the participant will be able to, number 1, read and write Hebrew consonants. Number 2, you are able to pronounce Hebrew nicuts, that's called vowels. And lastly, you are able to transliterate and read Hebrew words in Bible. Isn't it exciting? Okay, we will sing the Hebrew consonants and then visualize it. I have posted in a chat group. Have you done that? I hope you do. Okay, you see that there are, when you look into the internet, there are many types of Hebrew fonts that looks like a cursive, maybe looks like a little bit like Tauge to me. Well, don't worry, we only focus on two types of fonts that is called book print and block letters. You have learned to recognize the Hebrew letters in book print. Are you able to write? I am not. Don't worry. Today is the day that we are going to teach you how to write. You write in block letters. Hallelujah. It's very simple. If you know how to write the block letters, you are able to recognize the book print, then you are able to read. The good news is that there are 22 consonants only in Hebrew alphabets, whereas in English there are 26. Well, if you don't, those who are know Mandarin, the words, the Mandarin words has many strokes, whereas you look at the Hebrew, it's very simple as ABC. Hebrew is really easy, trust me. Okay, Anela, to you, Anela.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Can you hear me? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Hello?
yes, yes.
Yes. Please continue.
So this is how we're going to go about it. I will just pronounce the R and teach you how to write that. Okay, so first consonant, first letter of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Aleph. Okay, now this is a silent letter. That means it does not have a sound of its own. It always takes the sound of the vowels of the nikud attached to it. Now, don't worry about the vowels and the nikuds right now. It only means like how we have in English, A, E, I, O, U, like that, the sounds, A, E, A, E, O, U. Okay, so depending on the dots and the dashes that are placed above or below the letter Aleph, the sound, it takes the sound of the vowels. But by itself, it is a silent letter. And now, like as Angie and Maurice Stephen said, like we will learn to read the Hebrew Bible. For that, in the beginning, we will look at the Hebrew word and we will look at it and we'll transliterate it. So we need to know what is each letter in the Hebrew alphabet, how is it transliterated into the English language. So the first one, transliteration of the Aleph, is just an apostrophe. So remember, it is a silent letter. It only takes the sounds of the vowels that are attached to it.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Anela. So as a beginners, in order to write Hebrews, we will begin with writing in squares. So are you please get ready a few writing sheets by drawing squares on single lines paper as what I posted in the chat group. Get ready your pencil now. We read in book print Hebrew. Now I will teach you how to write in block letters. First of all, you divide the squares into half. Just use a pencil to divide into half here. Now you can start. Are you ready? You use your pencil to start at the left upper corner. Draw a straight line to the right lower corner. Next, the second line from the right upper corner, draw almost to the center, but not the center. It's slightly to the right. It has to be very specific. The third line is from the almost the center, but a bit on the left. and then go until the end. Okay, write it now. Again, start one stroke down, second stroke from the top right, and third stroke. It's not an X. The center here is a little bit of space. You have your letter, your writing with, make sure the Hebrew is to read and write from right to left. You will write one letter, then you leave a space, then go to another letter and continue until the end. At the end there, the translation is a apostrophe. So you write apostrophe. So take your time to write. Remember, you have to leave an empty row before you go to the second one. Okay? Okay, you'll continue. Anela, over to you.
Yeah,
Anela?
you tell me because can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
I can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Okay,
Is
but
clear because I just realized the video is not very clear.
okay, it's breaking up though. Maybe you can turn off your video.
Okay, fine. I'll do that. Okay, now when I speak, please just tell me if I am clear.
Yes, very clear now. You're very clear now.
Thank
Okay,
you.
fine. So now, just to recap, because when I was just pronouncing the first letter, probably my voice was not clear. So I just want to just remind the people who have joined in that the first letter is the Aleph. The first letter is the Aleph. It is a silent letter, and it does not. It takes the sound of the dots or the dashes known as the nikud of the vowels attached to it. Okay, and then Andy just taught you how to write the Aleph as a block letter. Okay, so now we are going to go to the second.
Oh, Stephen, I think maybe you take over for a time being while Anela fix up the.
Okay. Okay, the second the second letter is the Beth here. If we look, sorry, there are two letters here. One is the Beth. Okay, the other one has got a mole in it. This is what I call a mole. Okay, a beauty spot. Okay, it's called a Dagesh Lane. Dagesh Lane is a weak Dagesh. When you have a Dagesh Lane here, a little dot here, okay, the name is actually Beth. Okay, and this one is Web. The easy way to remember is this. This is Auntie Web, has no mole. This is Auntie Beth, has a mole. Okay, Auntie Beth has a mole on her face, and Beth is transliterated as V. Okay, Web is a V. Okay, sometimes it's represented by a B with the underline below. It actually means a V here, or sometimes people say it is a BH. Okay, so it's Web is a V, and this is Beth. Okay, is a B.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's go back to the writing sheets. We are going to write these words. It's very easy. With your square here, you start from the left top corner, draw a horizontal line, but before you reach the end, take a vertical line down. Second stroke, from the left corner, draw a horizontal stroke until the end. Make sure that the end here is jut up. This is that. Well, for bad, it's the same thing. You add a dot here. So this bad is 2A and bad is 2B because both of them, they are the second consonants. Got it?
They are the same family. They're just cousins.
Yes.
Or you can say they are twin sisters.
To explain about the Dagesh Lene, about Dagesh Lene.
Okay, the Dagesh Lene here is just a little dot in the letter itself. Okay, there are 6 letters that has got a Dagesh Lene. Okay, if if you look at here, Okay, this is what acronym that we use. We say baguette cafet letters. Okay, so Beth is one of it. Yeah, you'll see later the other letters like Gmail, Dalet, okay, Kaf, Pay, and Ta. Okay, all these letters have twin sister. You call them twin sisters. Okay, with a dot here in inside.
Okay, so you will write the letters bad one line or bad one line. Either bad or bad first or bad first doesn't matter. They are the same family. So 2A you put if you put in bad is okay also. So we'll go to the third consonant called Gimel.
Okay,
Anela, are you
Gmail.
there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, okay,
I'm back.
Anela, continue then.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sorry for the internet connection. I apologize for that. Okay, I
All
hope
right.
now nothing will go wrong. Okay, the third consonant is the letter Gimel. Gimel, okay, and the sound that it makes is G. G. Now here again, you see both of them, just like the Bet and the Vet, there is Gimel without the Dagesh Lene and with the Dagesh Lene, but both in modern Hebrew is pronounced with the sound G. G. One, of course, is without the Dagesh Lene and one with the Dagesh Lene. Just to make it clear, the Dagesh Lene kind of hardens the pronunciation. So it was very clear to see in the Bet and the Vet. Bet and the Vet, okay, Vet was more softer, and when you added the Dagesh Lene, it became harder and you pronounce it as Bet. So here also, Gimel, but there is no distinction as of such. So both are, the sound is G. But one has these Dagesh Lene and one does not have the Dagesh Lene. And again, it is part of the Beget Kafet letters. If you see at the corner, the Beget Kafet letter. So we already have the Bet and the Vet, and now we have added the letter Gimel. Now, if you look at the transliteration, it is G. For Gimel with the Dagesh Lene, it is a G. And for Gimel without the Dagesh Lene, it is either GH or G with the dash underneath it. Now, it is not standardized because different Hebrew books give different transliterations. There is no standardization. That's why we've included both the transliterations.
Can I add something to this?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, go back to this one. You look at the transliteration, this is a G here, all right, and this is a GH. Okay, a good way to remember is this G. Okay. Now this is something like a H. It represents a H. So if the H has gone into the email here, right, this is missing, no H. Okay, but if it's not there, okay, if it's not there, then the H appears here. Okay, if you observe the other letters of the alphabet with the Beckett Cafet series like this, okay, you will actually see this pattern. So this will help you to remember when this is a G and when this is a GH. Okay, right. So I over to you.
Okay. Remember that this is a group of the baguette Kefet letter. We talked about bag just now, and now is the Gimel, GE. We will come to the rest afterwards. Okay, now it's the time to write. Gimel is a very narrow letters. You divide your square into vertically into half, and then horizontally also you put another line, another half. How you write it? You start from the middle top corner, and then draw a horizontal line, half of it, half of the square, then go slanting down until the right hand side. Then you have the second stroke somewhere at the middle here, and then there's like a leg. It will jut out and go to the left corner. This is Gimel. For Gimel with Dagesh, another line, you put a Dagesh here, the Dagesh lineage here. This is a very narrow letters that occupy only half of the square. So just now you have written bet and web. Now you write Gimel, and Gimel with dagesh another line. Remember to write to divide the square into half before you write. You write a few first, a bit later, you can continue later, and we would like you to pass out the assignment in the chat group later. I'll give further instructions. Next. Anela?
Okay. The fourth consonant is the letter Dalit. The fourth consonant is the letter Dalit, and the sound is the. Here again, there are this letter Dalit is also part of the Baguette Kafet letters, which we just saw, the Bet and the Vet, the Gimel, and now this Dalit. Okay, so one you have without the Dagesh Lene and one with the Dagesh Lene. And here again, the pronunciation is the. Okay, so they belong to the group of Baguette Kafet letters. Probably there must have been a distinction, but in modern Hebrew, it is still pronounced as the, with the Dagesh Lene, without the Dagesh Lene. And if you look at the transliteration, without the Dagesh Lene, it is DH or D with a dash underneath it. And with the Dagesh Lene, the transliteration is with a D. Now remember, the transliteration is to help us recognize when we look at the English, the way the word, the Hebrew letter, the Hebrew word is pronounced in English, it is for us to recognize which letter it is. But slowly we will wean off the transliteration and all of it later. But for now, we will use it as a tool. So this is the fourth letter, Dalit, and the sound is the. You use the roof of your mouth. The.
You recognize it by the sharp corner at the right-hand side. In order to write it, remember that you use the whole square, write the horizontal line on top, then a vertical line down. Make sure that the corner there is jagged up. And then for, this is Dalit. Dalit with Dagesh Lene, you just put a dot there. Fifth consonant. Consonant.
The fifth consonant is the letter He. The letter He. And the sound is H. Okay, now look at the letter. It's, it's saying Hey. It's waving out to you. Nice for you to sign up for this class. So He. And the sound is H. And the transliteration is H. So the letter, the fifth consonant is He. The sound is H. And the transliteration is H.
Come to the writing part. You write draw a horizontal line from the left to the right, and then write down. The next one, remember, Hey, there is a gap there, and then you write, after the gap, you draw a vertical line down. That's Hey. Isn't it very easy? Sixth consonant.
Okay. The sixth consonant is the letter Vav. Vav. Okay. And the sound is V. Vav. Okay. It looks like a hook. Okay. If you write it, it looks like a hook. And in Hebrew, it means hook. And the transliteration is, like we said, there is no standardization. So you can use V or W. Okay. So the sixth consonant is Vav. And the sound that it makes is V.
Oh, this is a very narrow letters. Divide the square into half with a vertical line. Then you start from the quarter of it, write a horizontal line, and then straight down, just like a hook. Isn't it very easy? Seventh consonant. Anela?
Yes. The seventh consonant of the Hebrew, yes? Yes, did somebody say something?
No. Continue, please.
Hello?
Continue, please.
Okay. The seventh consonant, the seventh consonant of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Zayin, Zayin, Zayin. And the sound it makes is Z, Z, Z. So the letter is Zayin and the sound it makes is Z, Z, Z. And the transliteration is the letter Z or Z. Okay, so the seventh consonant is Zayin and the sound it makes is Z, Z.
This is also a very narrow letters. Divide the square again to half with a vertical line. Then draw a slanting line from the top to the side. Then a vertical line down and make sure that it jut out on one end. This is Zayin. Isn't it very easy to write? What are these consonants? What is the difference between the consonants? This is Zayin. This is Wa. What are the differences? See, Zayin there's a jut out at the top, where else Wa doesn't. That's why when you write, it has to be very specific. 8 consonant.
Okay, the eighth consonant of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Chet, Chet, Chet. And the sound that it makes is Ch, Ch. Okay, it's a guttural letter. That means you pronounce it from your gut. Ch, Ch, as if you're going to, clear your throat. Ch. Okay, and when you look at the letter, it almost looks like a door. Okay, so Chet, the letter is Chet, and the sound that it makes is Ch, Ch, as if you're going to clear your throat. And the transliteration is CH, CH or an H with a dot underneath it. The transliteration of the letter Chet is CH or H with a dot underneath it. So once again, the eighth consonant is the letter Chet, Chet. And the sound that it makes is Ch, Ch, as if you're clearing your throat. And that is why it is called a guttural letter.
In order to write it, draw a horizontal line at the upper line, then straight down. Next, another vertical line on the left. This time there's no gap, no hay, and then go straight down, but make sure it jut out on the left-hand side. This is quite similar to hay, right? But there are differences that make it a great difference. Look, this is hat, and this one is hay. Isn't it? Looks quite the same. The hat looks like a door, but no window here. Well, hey, there's a window to say, hey. Remember that? Ninth consonant.
Okay, the ninth consonant of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Tet, Tet. And the sound that it makes is T, T. Okay, so now if you look at the illustration, it almost looks like a telephone. So just to help you remember, no, the telephone, T, okay, T, T. So the letter is, the ninth letter is Tet, and the sound is T, T, and the transliteration is T. So just to help you understand, that's why we have the illustration of the telephone there, to remember T, T. So the ninth consonant, is the letter Tet, and the sound is T.
Well, this letter is very special, like a telephone. We write it from the left side with a vertical line down, and then go across, then go up again, and then bend down almost to the center of the square. Remember, there is a hook here, like the telephone hook. 10th consonant.
Okay, the 10th consonant of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Yod, Yod. Okay, and the sound that it makes is Y, Y. So the 10th consonant is Yod. Again, it is the smallest consonant, And you will see right now when Angie tells you, it's almost like a comma. Okay, which you use it. If you are writing using squares, it takes the upper right corner of the square. So it is the 10th consonant, and it is the letter Yod, and the transliteration is Y, and the sound it makes is Y. So Yod, sound Y.
This is the smallest letter. You only use quarter of the square. So divide the squares now into quarters by drawing the vertical lines and the horizontal line. Yod is something like a comma. This is another way of writing that is just using a quarter of it, going to draw a horizontal line, and then go a small vertical line down at the right hand corner only. Right hand, you only use 1/4 of the square. 11 consonant.
Yes, the 11th consonant, as you see over here, it is also part of the Beged Kafet letters. And to remind you, we have already done Bet and Vet, Gimel, Dalit, and now this is Kaf, Kaf, and it is pronounced Ka because it has the Dagesh Lene in it. If it does not have the Dagesh Lene in it, it is pronounced more like Khaf. Okay, so with the Dagesh Lene, the sound becomes sharper, K. Without the Dagesh Lene, the sound is more guttural, Khaf, and this is Kaf, Khaf, and Kaf. So you see the Dagesh Lene hardens or sharpens the pronunciation. So this is the 11th consonant. Without the Dagesh Lene, it is Khaf, K, K, K. And with the Dagesh Lene, it is sharper K. Okay, and also, unlike English letters, now if you have the letter K, if you write it in the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, or at the end of the word, it is written the same way. But for Hebrew, if you have to use the letter Kaf, okay, with the Dagesh Lene or without the Dagesh Lene, if you have to use the letter Kaf in the middle or in the beginning of the word, it is like how we just showed you. But if you have to write it at the end of a word, then you have at what we call the Kaf Sofit. Sofit means what? Ending. Okay. So this is how you would write the letter Kaf if it comes at the end of a word. Okay, so unlike English, in Hebrew, there are a few letters which kind of changes its form when it comes at the end of a word. That does not happen when it comes in the beginning of the word or in the middle of the word, but when it comes at the end of the word, it is written as you see it on your screen. Okay, so that what we call the Kaf Sofit. So if it comes at the end of the word, that's how you're going to write it. So once again, the 11th consonant, okay, the 11th consonant, it is without the letter, without the Dagesh Lene, it is Kh, Kaf. With the Dagesh Lene, it sharpens K, K. And when you write it at the end of a word, it is written as the Kaf Sofit, okay? The pronunciation is still the same. You will just write it differently as you see it on your screen. Sofit means final form or what you find at the end, okay? And again, this is also one of the Beged Kafet letters. That means it is a letter that takes the Dagesh Lene, hence hardening or sharpening the sound. And the transliteration for the Kh is either KH or K with a dash underneath it. And the Kaf with the Dagesh Lene is K. Just that. Okay, so that's your 11th consonant.
Okay, in order to write, it's very simple. Use a whole square. For Kaf, you draw a horizontal line, then bend it down, a vertical line, then a horizontal line to the left. That's it, it's Kaf. In order to write Kaf, the same thing, but with a dot here, called Dagesh Lene. For half or cups of it, you will write a horizontal line on top, then a vertical line down. Make sure that it jut up on the top and also bottom. The bottom, it has to jump up below the bottom line, For quite a number of suffix, that is the end form, it will have lines that is go below the bottom line. What are these consonants? This is calf. This one? What is the difference? Look, bat is jutting out at the end, but our calf is not jutting out. So be very specific in your writing. And then you can recognize the consonants well. 12th consonant.
Okay, the 12th consonant is the letter lamed, lamed, and it is the sound that it makes is l, l. Okay, so if you look at it, it almost resembles, okay, the llama that you have on the screen also. So this is just to help you, you know, these are pictures that are used to help you remember what is the sound. So this is the letter lamed, lamed, and the sound it makes is l, l, l. So 12th consonant, lamed, and the sound that it makes is l. Okay, and you just as you will see, as Angie teaches you how to write it, it is the only letter that has the vertical line above it. So as that, so you will know it has that is your letter lamed. So 12th letter lamed, and the sound is l.
Yes, this is the only letter that has its head out, just like the llama jutting out the head. Divide the square into half again with the vertical lines. You start off above the upper line. It starts from above the upper line. It has to jump out above the upper line, then go down to the top here, then go horizontal. Next, you will go slanting down to the middle of the lower part. One more time, it jump up on the top, go horizontal, slanting down to half of it. So this vertical line help you so that you can write the letter well. 13th consonant.
The 13th consonant of the Hebrew alphabet is the letter mem, mem, and the sound it makes is m, m, mem, and the sound it makes is m, m. You use your lips, m, m. Okay, now like your letter kaf that had a final form, like we said, in English, this does not happen. But in Hebrew, if the letter mem comes at the end of the word, then it takes the form that you see under the mem sofit. That's how you would write it. Okay, if it is in the beginning or in the middle, you will write it as you see it on your right, and the mem sofit, or if it comes at the end of a word, that's how you would write it, the mem sofit. Okay, so the transliteration for both of them is the same. The sound is also the same, m, but only thing is that if it comes at the end of the word, remember the form that it takes. Okay, so the 13th consonant, is the letter mem, m. Okay, so it has a final form, or the sofit form, which means if it is written at the end of the word, it will take the form as you see on the screen.
In order to write it, look at the word. It's something like a triangle. So the block letters, it looks like quite a bit like a triangle. Divide the lines into half again. Then you start from the left bottom corner, have a line slanting up to the middle, then slanting down to the right corner. Next, a horizontal line from the right to left to the middle. Make sure that there is a gap that is half of square half the square. The next stroke is from the top left corner and go down. So this is mem. Whereas the mem suffix, it looks like a square. So in block letters, it's written this way. A horizontal line on top, down, vertical line. Next, there is a vertical line from on the left-hand side and a horizontal line to the right. Make sure that it's jut up on the left corner. Look, mem is something like a triangle, but with a gap and a horn on the left-hand side. Whereas mem suffix, it looks something like a rectangle with a maybe like a head jutting out. Interesting. These two letters, they have straight base, not rounded, straight base. There's a similarity between the mem and the men suffix. 14th consonant.
Yes, the 14th consonant is the letter nun, nun. And the sound that it makes is n, n. So the letter, 14th consonant, the letter is nun, and the sound that it makes is n. Now this also has a suffix, the final form, and you've just seen it on your screen, okay? So just like we said, if it is written at the end of the letter, pardon me, if it is written at the end of a word, then it takes the nun suffix form. The pronunciation does not change. It is still n, but the way you would write it is little different. And so you see both the forms. So if it is in the beginning of the word or in the middle of the word, is what you see on your on to your right, and the other one, the nun suffix, is what if you have it at the end of the word. So you have the 14th consonant is the letter nun. The sound that it makes is n, n, and the transliteration is the letter n.
You observe that the suffix letter have the line here that is below the lower line. This is the way you write. Divide the squares again into halves by drawing vertical lines. This nun is a narrow letter that take only half of the square. Draw from the middle point, upper corner, upper ends, draw horizontal line, straight down, and then a horizontal line to the middle. That's it. It's called nun. For the nun suffix, from the center, you draw a horizontal line, then right down, and make sure that it's go further down below the bottom line. Suffix has lines that go below the bottom line. What are these consonants? This is nun. Kaf, that's what? Nun suffix. See the difference? The nun only take half of the square. Kaf, the whole square. Nun is half a square, but further down. It is a big, and it's a long and big, long rectangles. Kaf suffix. Also, the line is below the bottom line, but it occupied the whole square. 15th consonant.
Yes, the 15th consonant is the letter samek, samek, samek. Okay, and the sound is s, s. So now we have the English letter S, just to show you how curved the Hebrew letter is. Quite similar, okay, in terms of the bottom half, how it is written, curved way. Okay, so just to help you remember the sound, the letter is samek, samek, and the sound is s, s, and the transliteration is the letter S. Okay, so the 15th consonant is samek, samek. Sound that it makes is s, s, and the transliteration is S.
Observe that they have rounded bottoms, whereas the men have straight bottom. The way to write is like that. Use a whole square. From the top, you draw a horizontal line. Then you go down and draw a rounded bottom and go up. Again, horizontal line to the right hand side. Go down vertically and then bend around the bottom, very bottom, round the bottom and then go up. And make sure that it jar up. The special thing about Samit is just like as it has rounded bottom. Look, this is man, this one. Ma'am Sophie, what about this? Yes, you have just learned is Samit. Samit looks like circular shape, rounded bottom. Ma'am Sophie, looks like a rectangle, straight bottom. Ma'am, triangular shape, straight bottom. That's how you recognize the shapes. 16th consonant.
Yes, the 16th consonant is the letter Ayin. Ayin in Hebrew means I. Ayin in Hebrew means I. Now, just like the first letter Aleph, Ayin also does not, it is a silent letter. It does not have a sound of its own. It takes the sound of the vowels or the nikhut that is attached to it. It's just the dots and the dashes that is attached to the letter. So it takes that the sound of the dots or the dashes that are attached to it, depending on what the vowel is. A, E, A, O, U. Okay. So by itself, it is a silent letter. And it is the letter Ain, okay? So if you see the two eyes, okay? Just to remember, in Ain in Hebrew means eyes. And the transliteration is the reverse apostrophe. For Aleph, it was as you normally would write it, the apostrophe, whereas for the Ain, it is the reverse apostrophe. And this is your 16th consonant, Ain. It is a silent letter.
Yes. To write Ayin, again, you have to divide the squares into half by drawing vertical lines. Then you start from the top right corner, have a slanting line down, and then bend to the left corner. Next, another line start from left corner and straight down. Again, the first line is slanting and then bends. The second line is straight down to the middle and make sure that it's jumped out at the end. Don't you think that it looks like a very fat Y with a short tail? There are two silent letters. What is that? Yes, the second one. Yes, we have just learned it is I. Both are silent letters. They don't have sound by itself. It's just very special, right? In English, you don't have silent letters. But Hebrew, they have silent letters, and they have two. They will take the letters, the sound of vowel. Don't worry, we will teach you next week. 17th consonant.
Okay, the 17th consonant is the letter Pe. Now, this is because you have the Dagesh Lene. Once again, the Dagesh Lene has come in. And so, if you remember, Beget Kafet letters, we did Wet and Bet, we did Gimel, Dalit, Khaf and Kaf, and now we have the Pe and the Fe. Now, please remember, if you put the Dagesh Lene, the sound becomes P, Pe. But without the Dagesh Lene, or without that dot, it is the sound Fe. They are written almost identically, but if you put in the Dagesh Lene, the sound that it makes is P, Pe, Pe, P. Without the Dagesh Lene, it is Fe, F, F. Okay, and again, transliterations, you see quite a few of them there. For Fe, you can either use F, you can use P with a dash underneath it, or you can use PH. And for the letter pe. That is, if you put the dot into the fe, it becomes a pe. Okay, it kind of sharpens the sound, and the transliteration is p. So once again, you have fe without the dagesh lene, and when you place the dagesh lene, it becomes pe, pa. So without fe, fa, with the dagesh lene, pe, pa. And then here again, this particular letter has a final form. That means if you were to write it at the end of the word, then it takes the fe, pe, sofit form. Again, the pronunciation is still the same, okay? But you would write it the way it is illustrated over here, if it comes at the end of a word. So let's just go over it again. Without the dagesh lene, it is a fe, fa. With the dagesh lene, it kind of hardens, so p, fa, and with the dagesh lene, p. Okay, and then you have the fe or the pe sofit, which means if it comes at the end of a word, this is the form that it would take. So we have reached the 17th consonant of the Hebrew alphabet. And again, this is part of the Beget Kefet letters.
Notice that the sofit again has a tail below the bottom line. This is the way to write. You have to divide the squares into quarters by drawing vertical and horizontal lines. Then you start. You start with a horizontal line, then go down, and then a horizontal line to the left. That's it. Oh, not yet, not yet. This is only first stroke. Second stroke is that on the left top corner, you write a vertical line down halfway, and then to bend a horizontal line to almost the center, not the center, almost the center. That's why I need you to draw the two lines in order to guide you. This is fe. For pe, it's the same thing, but right now you draw a dot right at the middle. The dot is right at the middle. This is pe. For sofit, you see there's a tail here. You start from the same thing or the horizontal line, and then vertical down and below the bottom line, and make sure that it jump up below the bottom line. Next, you will draw from the top here, the left corner, vertical line down, and then horizontal line almost the center, not yet reach the center, almost. Got it? 18th consonant.
Yes. The 18th consonant is the letter sade. Sade, and the sound that it makes, it's s, s. Like if you know the word boots in English, the TS sound for the word boots sound, that's the sound that sade makes. So sade is the 18th consonant, and the sound it makes is s, s. Okay, like remember the word boots. Okay, how is the TS pronounced there? That's how you would pronounce sade. S, s. Okay, I'm just, kind of emphasizing that. And the transliteration, again, see, you have quite a few there, TS or TZ, or with an S and a dot underneath it. So many textbooks will give different forms because it has not been standardized. So you can follow either one of it. So you have the 18th consonant is the sade, okay? And the sound that it makes is s, s. And the transliteration is S with a dot or TS or TZ. Now again, the sade, the letter sade also has the final form, okay? Or the sade sofit. That is, if you see it at the end of a word and you see how it is written. Have you realized this? That most of the sofit letters, the final forms, it comes outside the square. You elongate it, okay? So that's one thing to remember, okay? So 18th consonant, sade, and the sound that it makes, even the sade sofit, the sound is still the same, but the form, the way you would write it is different, slightly different. So it is the 18th consonant, sade, and the sound that it makes is s, s.
That's right. Look like sofit. The Sade Sulfate has a tail again. For the square, again, divide it into quarters by drawing the vertical line, divide into halves, and then another horizontal vertical lines to make it quarter. Let's start. Go from the top right corner, draw a diagonal line, slanting, go straight down to the right corner, then bend it horizontally to the left side. Second stroke, start from the top right corner, go down to the center. Looks like Y, but the other side of it isn't. This is Sade. For Sade Sulfate, we have a vertical line on the left side. Then from the center point, draw a slanting line to the right side. Make sure that it juts out at below the bottom point, bottom line. It has a tail. 19th consonant.
Yes, the 19th consonant is the letter Qaf. 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 Okay, and if you look at it, it's a good illustration to remember. It kind of looks like the mirror image of our English letter Q, the small letter Q. Okay, so it kind of looks like it, not actually, but just to help you remember. Okay, so it is the 19th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Qaf, and the transliteration is either Q or K. Qaf, and the transliteration K. The sound that it makes is K. And the transliteration is Q or K. So again, let me just say it. It is Qaf, and the sound that it makes is K.
Okay, the way to write, look at this word Qaf. It looks like a Q, the mirror, but it looks like also P, but with a gap here. Remember Qaf, Qaf. It has a two gap here. One is on the top and the other one is at the bottom. In order to write it, you use the whole square. You write from the top left corner, draw a horizontal line. Then when it almost reach, you must bend down to the bottom, but don't reach the end. Don't reach the left end. Just here, you must stop because there must be a space to Qaf. Then you have a vertical line, leave a gap on top and have a vertical line, right down, and this one, it has a tail. It has to go down. The line, although it's not a sulfate, is the words, the consonant that have to have the tail too. It has to jut out below the bottom lines. This is not a sulfate, but it has the line that go below the bottom line. Remember, these two gaps is very important. You must leave the gap. If you close the gap, it becomes P. That's not right. This is a Hebrew consonant called Qaf. Qaf. So must have two gaps for it to Qaf it out. Let's go to 20th consonant.
Yes, the 20th consonant is the letter Resh, Resh, and the sound that it makes is R, Resh. Okay, so here also, does it look like the mirror image of your English letter R? Okay, unlike the English letter R, this has a rounded corner. Okay, rounded corner. Okay, so this is the letter Resh, Resh, and the sound that it makes is R, and the transliteration is R, the small letter, the lowercase letter R. So 20th consonant, so we are nearly there. Resh, the sound that it makes is R, and the transliteration is R.
Yes, it has a rounded corner on the right-hand side. So in order to write it, you use a whole square, draw the horizontal line on top, and then bend it. It has to be a slightly curved, and then go down. Make sure that it's a rounded corner, so for you to recognize Resh. Look at this. This is Dalit. It's a pointed corner. And then Resh has a rounded corner. You have to be very careful in order to write your letters well. And also, this one helps you to recognize the book print. The Resh has the rounded corner, whereas the Dalit has a sharp corner. 21st consonant. Anela? Are you online, Anela? Stephen, maybe you have to take over. You said Anela is off, is it? Hello? Stephen, please take over. I think Anela is offline. Stephen, are you there? Okay, let me take over then. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Anela
I'm back. Yeah, I'm
okay,
back.
good. Okay, good.
I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of internet issues.
Okay, continue then.
Did everybody hear for the letter Resh?
Yes.
Did everybody hear the way the letter Resh is pronounced?
Yeah.
Is that
Resh is, yes,
yeah.
Resh is done well. Now we are coming to the...
Okay, 21st consonant. Okay, so the 21st consonant is the letter Sheen. Sheen. And the sound that it makes is sh. Sh. Okay, now you have two forms. You have Sheen, wherein the dot is put at the right hand corner. If the dot is put on the left hand corner, it is the letter Sin. Seen. Seen. S. Okay. If it is put at the right hand corner, it is Sheen. Sh. Right hand corner. You stretch to put the dot. Sheen. Okay. Sheen. Sh. Sheen. Sh. And if you put it on the left hand corner, you just put it. You don't have to stretch it. Okay. It is S. Okay. So the transliteration for Sheen is SH or S. SH or S with a circumflex on the top. SH or S with a circumflex on the top. So this is Sheen. So stretch to put the dot, okay, to the right, and it is the letter Sheen, and the sound that it gives is sh, sh, sh. And now you have the letter Seen, S, S. So you don't have to stretch. You put it on the left-hand corner itself. S, S, S. And the transliteration is with S, okay, with S. And there is a dash on top, okay? So Sheen, you will stretch to put it, okay, to the right. That is sh. This is S, S, Seen, S. It's
Okay.
only the difference in sound is where you put the dot. Is it the left-hand corner or the right-hand corner of the prongs? Depends. So if it is right-hand, sh, Sheen. If it is left, s, s, Seen.
That's right. So Sheen, in order to write Sheen, Sheen has a dot on the right-hand side. SH, she's always right. You can remember by that too. Agreed, Anela? She is
Yes,
always
always right.
Anela, people will disagree. Okay, the squares. Okay, in order to write, divide the squares again into half by vertical lines. You start from the right top corner, then you draw a line that slanting down a little slanting only, a little slant to the bottom, and then it go horizontal to the right hand side. Don't reach the end, just stop there. The second line is start from the top corner, right top corner, and then slanting down. The next line is start from the middle, top middle, and then a slanting line to the left side and join up the corner at the bottom. Okay, then you put a dot here. Okay, one more time. First stroke from the left side, slanting down, horizontal. Second stroke from the right, horizontal, slanting down. Third, then you have from the middle, slanting down. Next, you got the dot. This is sheen. S-H, sheen. She is right. Next, sin.
Right.
Sin is on the left side. The dot is on the left side. The way you write is the same exactly like sheen, except that the dot is on the left. Again, draw vertical lines to divide the square into halves. Just like sheen, you draw a slanting line, then horizontal to the right. Next, another slanting line from the right side. Next, from the middle, another slanting line. Then you put a dot on the left side. This is sin. Next, 22nd.
Okay. 22nd and the last consonant. Okay, and again you see at the right hand top corner, Beghet Kafet letters. So this is the final letter that is in that group of letters which takes the Dagesh Lene. Okay, so again with the Dagesh Lene, it kind of hardens or sharpens the sound. So without the Dagesh Lene, you have T, and with the Dagesh Lene, it is T. See, it's sharper. T. This is T. With the Dagesh Lene, it sharpens the sound T. Okay, and transliteration is for T without the Dagesh Lene, it is TH, okay, or T with a dash underneath it. And with the Dagesh Lene, it's just your T. So again, the Beghet Kafet letters, the Bet and the Vet, you were able to see the difference, hear the difference. For the Gimel and the Dalit, you don't hear the difference. For the Kaf and the Kaf, again, slight difference. For the Pe and the Fe, there is a difference. And then for the T or the T, okay, T is without the Dagesh Lene, T, sharper sound, T, with the Dagesh Lene. So just remember that dot or the Dagesh Lene kind of sharpens or hardens the sound. So once again, the last consonant is T, without the Dagesh Lene. With the Dagesh Lene, it is T, sharper sound.
Okay, in order to write it, you use the whole square, draw a horizontal line on top, then a vertical line down. Next, you draw a vertical line on the left side and then slightly to the left, just like a toe. Make sure that it jut out, not jut out. Make sure that there's a toe. It doesn't jut out. There's a toe here on the left side for top. And then top is exactly the same thing. Horizontal line, then vertical line down, second vertical line on the left side, and then bend to the left like a toe. Congratulations, you have learned the 22 consonants of the Hebrew alphabets. Now, let's try to recognize the alphabet in the text. Okay, everybody, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself and then tell me what letter is this?
Sin.
What is it?
Sin.
Yeah, everybody, speak out, speak out. What is it?
Sin.
Yes.
Sin.
What about this? quite similar.
Ref. Calf.
What is it?
Wow.
Valve.
Yes.
Giant.
Dying like a
Giant.
Non-soffit.
What is it?
Hey.
Hey, you are right. This one. Oh, no, it has a toe. Look at the toe down there. At the down there. So it's
Hey.
yeah, it looks like how about this? Mm-hmm. This second one. Calf. It doesn't jump.
Beth and calf is almost the same. Calf.
That's right. What is the difference between noon and calf?
One is half. Half is square.
Square.
Noon is half.
What is the difference between calf and vat?
Rounded. Straight.
Rounded and straight.
Calf and vat. What is the difference?
Rounded. Half is rounded. It's half a square.
Yeah, the vat.
Half is more rounded.
What is it? These are the baguette letters. Okay. Nella, would you please explain one more time the baguette cafe letters? Anela, are you there? Baguette cafe letters. Anela, are you there? Okay, maybe she's offline. Baguette cafe letters. Where BE it means what?
Yeah, okay, sure. The baguette cafe letters are the letters that take. Can you hear me? Am I clear?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
We can hear you. Anela. Anela, go ahead. Oh, offline again. Okay. Let me take over. Baguette capital letter. Okay, everybody. Baguette capital letter. BE is for bed. GE for
Gimel.
D for
Dalet.
that's right. Dalet. KE for
Calf.
E for
Hey.
for
Top.
that's right. We call this group of letters called baguette capital letters. These are the letters I said that they have twin brothers or sisters. Look at that. This is all with dots. What are these dots called?
Dagesh.
Okay.
Dagesh Lenny.
Twin sisters don't have Dagesh.
Lenny.
They look exactly the same except that don't have Dagesh. Pronunciation. Okay. Pronunciation for Beth is Beth with a dot. And this one is okay, everybody read
Bat.
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 Everybody read bat.
Bat. Bat. Bat.
Second one
Bat.
here P. Yep. P is pay and pay.
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 Pay. Pay.
Pay.
Now listen. Now listen. For these baguette capital letters, bat, they are, it looks, the sound difference. Pay also sound different that you can see. Whereas others one is quite similar. Here is G, here is GH. G is harder sound. Whereas GH is K.
It's like the wind.
When you read fast, it's not much a difference. So
Vâng
you
ạ,
don't,
như này hơn mà.
don't worry so much about it. Whereas here, dialect is the, there is the. Other sound, this is cup, k, and this k, softer sound. This is t, softer sound. So it doesn't make very much difference. So don't worry so much about it. You pay more attention on the two. Bat, vet. Anti-bat, anti-bat. And pay, pay. Okay? Ape, ape. That's it. All right? So remember, baguette, cat, letters. Okay. Now, look here. Hebrew is reading from right to left. English is
Left to right.
To right.
Let me tell you now. The first consonant. What is this?
Bat.
Left.
Right.
Bat.
Bat. Second one.
Bat.
Bat.
Second one. Second consonant is
Resh.
dash.
Rash.
Ra. Yes, right. Third one is
Alif.
Aleph.
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 Silent.
Aleph.
So you have
Aleph.
learned consonant.
Bet.
Okay.
Resh. Aleph.
This word is called
Resh.
R.
Aleph.
And then you see this one, something like a necktie here. Here. These are called nikuts or vowels. And this one is A vowels. We will teach you next week. Next week.
Okay.
Make sure you are with us. Okay. So this week you have learned the transition to English that read from left to right. Okay, can you all hear me? Okay, one more time. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, the translations is read from for English is left to right. It's different.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Good.
Just now, Bara, can you all hear me from when I talk about bad and red?
Yes.
Okay, so translation from English is left to right. So you have learned about B, you have learned R, and you learn about left. Stephen, okay. Now next week we'll learn about A. So this word in Hebrew is called bara. It sounds like a bahasa Melayu. B-A, ba, R-A, ra, bara, right? You have just learned a Hebrew word. It means created. God created the world. You have learned the Hebrew word bara now. Isn't it wonderful? Look at this word. Okay, the first letter is
Alif.
good. Second one?
Lamed.
Right. Third one?
A.
Hey. Fourth one?
Yod.
That's right.
Yod.
Now, all these dots that you see is called vowel. Nikuts or vowels. It is about A, E, I, O, U, just like Bahasa Malaysia. A, A, E, I, E, O, U, I, A, E, O, U. We will teach you next week. By next week, you know how to read. Now you learn halfway. The English translation here you have learned is from, we have to write from left to right now. It's L, H, M, and an apostrophe at the end here. Okay, so what word is this? This one, next week you will learn. Yeah, right. What is Elohim?
God.
That's right. Wonderful. You have just learned how to read Elohim. This week you have learned half of it on the consonant. Next week you learn AYU and you know how to read Elohim. God created the world. We have learned about bara. Okay, let's try again. One more. What is this first consonant?
Shin.
That's right. Second?
Lamed.
That's right. Don't forget about this one, the last one.
Lamed.
That's right. Then you're right. You got the SH.
Shalom.
This week you have learned about Shin, SH, L, and M. Next week, after we teach you about the Nikuts, you will learn about the vowels. A here and is here is Shalom. What's the meaning of Shalom?
Peace.
Peace.
It also means hello. It also means bye. So it's a time to say goodbye.
Shalom.
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 See you.
Shalom.
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 Shalom. Thank you.
Shalom.
Bye.
Shalom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Shalom.
Very
Angie,
good.
one moment, please. Angie, will we get a recording of this, please?
Yes,
Yes.
we recorded and
Yeah,
uploaded.
yeah. Can we get a recording?
In the
Okay.
chat group.
Yes,
It will be
please.
posted in the chat group.
Shalom to you.
Thank you.
It will
Thank
be
you.
recorded and
Baba.
it will be uploaded and put in the chat group.
Okay, thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Shalom.
Bye.
Shalom.
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 We are happy to have you. You are learning very fast.
Thank you. God bless.
Shalom.
It's exciting.
Shalom.
Happy
Great that you are
Shalom.
learning. You have to do homework so that you can really catch up.
This is what then? This one is what?
Oh, you see the people.